Hi, this is Dale O'Shills, pastor of Church of the Redeemer. Thanks so much for joining me for our devotional time today. So glad that you're a part of these each day. And we're talking this week about the word favor and praying that you'll understand, all of us will understand more of the favor of God directed toward your life. God's favor brings blessing. God's favor brings deliverance. And I want to talk today about the fact that God's favor can bring promotion to your life. You know, God can promote you far better than you can promote yourself. God is able to open doors for you, provide opportunities for you that you could never have imagined for yourself or created for yourself. Joseph, an Old Testament character, understood this. Let me tell you a little bit about the story of Joseph. Perhaps you recall the story. As a young man, he had a dream from God, but he ends up being sold into slavery because of the jealousy of his own brothers. He ends up in Egypt, and in Egypt, he's serving a man there and is falsely accused of raping this man's wife, ends up in prison, and he's serving for a crime that he didn't commit. So here he is in prison. You could not imagine what seemed like such unfavorable conditions. But here he is, again, in prison for something he did not do. But in the midst of that situation, God's favor comes to Joseph. Let me read you the story in Genesis chapter 39, verses 21 through 23. It's an amazing story of the favor of God bringing promotion. The Lord was with him, that's Joseph. He showed him kindness and granted him favor. Notice that, granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in the prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. I love that part of the story, don't you? It's an amazing thing to know that here is Joseph suffering under what seems to be a lot of injustice, but yet at the same time, God got beyond the human injustice and brought his favor that lifted up Joseph in the midst of the situation. And I want you to know today that God has a plan for your life. God has a purpose for your life. And it might seem that some things are weighing upon you. It might seem that you're kind of living your life in what seems to be a prison. Some things seem to be kind of unfair, difficult in your life. I don't know what it might be, but it could be something that seems to be holding you back. You say, I'll never be able to fulfill that purpose. Don't ever think that way. Because if God could reach down in a prison cell and find Joseph and help him and give him favor, God can do the same thing for you. Trust him for the favor that brings promotion to your life.